Welcome to the ParentNet podcast by Focus on the Family Singapore. In each episode, we'll be speaking with everyday parents and practitioners as they share with us gems from their parenthood journey. Keep tuning in to learn with us as we figure it out together.
Hello and welcome to the ParentNet podcast. My name is Alicia and I am your host for this episode. In today's digital world, parenting advice is everywhere, but it's not always easy to find solutions that truly fit our children and family needs. Many parents are now turning to personalized guidance, which is exactly what we'll be discussing today. I'm excited to welcome Liz-Ann Bosman, a seasoned parent coach who has helped families overcome challenges and bring out the best in their children. So welcome to the ParentNet podcast, Liz. Thank you for being here. Could you invite you to start by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Thanks, Alicia. I'm Liz, and I've been married to my wonderful husband for almost 19 years. We have two lovely children, a son who's 10 and a daughter who's 8. I've been a parenting coach for 2 years, and I'm so honored to be here today to share a bit more about coaching.
Wonderful. So Liz, we're here today to talk about parent coaching, right? And I'm just thinking, even before we kind of get into the topic, there's a question about actually what exactly is coaching? And how is coaching different or similar to counseling?
It's a great question, and I get that a lot. So the way I like to view it is counseling deals with more of the past, whereas coaching focuses on the future. You're a counselor, so please correct me if I'm wrong. I would say counselors look at the past to provide healing and closure for past hurt. While counseling deals with healing, coaching is geared towards growth. So coaches help their clients to look to the future and help you establish a game plan towards a goal that you have. The definition I love best about coaches is that coaches are personal change experts. We drive you forwards towards a change that you want to see in your life, that you feel will help you improve it. And let's face it, change is hard. It's hard to go against your natural bent and to try and do things differently. So that's where a coach comes in. Like you mentioned, so often we read or we hear about something and then we think, oh, that would be great to apply to my life. We might do it for a day, maybe a week, but then we find ourselves sliding back into our old habits or behaviors. So that's where a coach comes in to provide you the support, encouragement, and accountability that you need to help bring about long-term positive changes in your life.
And I really like this part, right, where you help us to make the distinction between counseling and coaching, as you were asking me, right? So counseling, normally we see it in terms of, it's a bit more issue-based or challenges or maybe even problems sometimes for certain people and wanting to see like solution to these challenges and needs. Whereas coaching, as you have painted it for us, the picture, is a little bit related to what's possible, what is the growth that we can see, and what is the potential that we can achieve. Would that be right?
Yeah, that's right. So as personal change experts, we try and move you towards something, a goal that you have in mind, may it be for your life or for your family in parenting coaching, so that you can achieve really long-term change.
And with that understanding, right, maybe now is a good time, Liz, for you to kind of share with our audiences, and then what exactly is parent coaching?
So, many times in parenting, we get stuck in cycles that we don't like with our kids, and we don't know how to get out of them. They misbehave, we get angry, everyone yells, we dish out punishment, and then everyone is upset and the relationship gets strained. You might not be struggling all the time, but these cycles, they create roadblocks in your journey to creating that warm family environment that you desire, or they prevent you from really enjoying being parents to your kids and building strong bonds with them. So I liken it to like having a little pebble in your shoe. Can you continue walking? Yes, you can, but it's not the most enjoyable walk you might have. And you can walk, but it's tiring and it'll get painful if you continue to walk with that pebble in your shoe. So that's where I feel parenting coaching comes in. A parenting coach comes alongside you to help you to remove those pebbles in your shoes, to help you make the parenting journey, even discipline times, which by the way means to teach, not to punish, more intentional, fulfilling, and enjoyable so that you want to show up for your kids.
Wow.
Because let's face it, unless we enjoy doing something, we're not going to show up, time and time again and enjoy it. And parenting is so hard. And sometimes we really forget through all these struggles, what a privilege it is we have that we get to experience this unique identity of being mom or dad to our kids. It's a unique appointment, being mom or dad. It's something that no one else can fill in the lives of our kids. You could be the CEO of a large listed company, and if you left, someone else could fill your shoes at work. But as parents, if we're absent, it's a void that no one else can fill, even if they tried. So we need to show up to guide our kids and lead them in the way that they should go. So we need to help our kids by showing up, by helping them to turn their roadblocks in life into stepping stones as they walk towards adulthood. And my job as a parenting coach is to help you make the changes you need to be intentionally present and to parent your children intentionally.
Well, Liz, you just inspired not just me, I believe our audiences, right? Because I think you really gave us the picture that parenting is a long-term game.
Yeah, it is.
And as parents who, have been given this opportunity and this unique appointment, to use your words, and it's something that's supposed to last a lifetime, and that parenting will evolve and grow with the seasons, but we are in it for the long term.
Yeah, that's right.
And, I also hear that parent coaching is not a one-time endeavor to fix it.
Yes.
Right? But it's an ongoing posture that we learn to take, the posture of showing up and being present and seeing that, as parents, we actually want to prioritize this parenting thing, right? And the parent coach is here to support us and to help people like me. So, maybe I can use my own parenting situation as a real life example for us to walk through, maybe quite fun. So I'm a parent of 4, as you know, and they're aged between 8 to 14.
Okay.
So if I was your client, Liz, what would be some issues that you would suggest that I can seek coaching for? Some good questions that I can ask or think about?
So my parenting coaching focus is heart-based parenting. I focus on coaching parents on how to parent their child's hearts instead of focusing on behavior modification. So what this means is I try to help parents to be curious about the heart or the belief behind their child's actions and train the heart rather than to try and change their behavior. So for kids your age range, for example, a common struggle could be to do their work and to do it well. Would you say that is one of them?
Definitely. I think to be able to, keep to the requirements of the school as an example.
Yes.
And maybe for me, one of the things I think this season that I'm also learning how to better share and impart, right? Because I think you're mentioning is about the heart. So something that goes a little bit more deeper into our attitudes, is to do things with excellence and to do things that reflect your effort.
Yes.
Not so much outcome oriented in terms of I need to achieve like a certain grade.
Yes.
But it is the attitude that we put into it.
That's right.
And that motivation for us to give of our best, regardless of whatever outcome they might be. So I'm trying to get my children to see the value of that. What would you have to say or advise me in that area or to coach me?
So my question to you would be, what do you think is behind the heart of the lack of motivation in your children? Or why do you think they feel that doing things in less excellent manner is okay?
That's a good question, Liz. I think you mentioned one of the words, motivation.
Yes.
Yeah, I can see that it comes in varying levels towards different activities and things.
Yes.
To answer your question, Liz, I would say it's the perspective that they sometimes view things differently and they may not see certain things as significant or important enough for them to give their best at it, something like that.
So that's a great perspective. I think, there are a few things that help kids in terms of with their internal motivation. One of them is a lot of times as parents, we take on the responsibility. So we don't pass on the responsibilities to them. So one of the key things that we would like to teach our children is to how to take on that responsibility for the excellence in their work. They might be doing their work to please you. So when you're not there, then the work doesn't get done. Or they do it, MCQ just anyhow, put in a number and then, okay, yeah, I'm done, mum. So instead of having that internal motivation, I want to do this to learn, they have this external motivation, which is you or me, as parents, that, if I don't do it, mommy's going to punish me. So the internal motivation comes from us parenting the heart and teaching them why it's important to learn, why it's important to do your work, why it's important to do it with excellence. So when we teach the child and we train their heart, that's when they learn to dig a little deeper and find out what their true motivation is. For example, if you know your child is aiming to be a geologist, for example, you can help them to vision how they're going to get there in the future, what they need to take, what they need to excel at so that they can get to that final end goal. So you are coaching them, which is also one of the tools we teach in heart-based parenting. You come alongside and you coach them. You show them that mommy is on your side, not so much as an external motivation to punish or only just to give incentives short term, but to give them the vision that this is where you want to be and mommy's going to help you to get there.
I caught three things. So first is the vision, which is the last point you explained, right? Actually seeding the vision for our children of who they can be.
Yes.
Right? The second thing was to actually ask and prompt the thinking towards why. Why are we even doing this?
Yes.
And through the why and through the conversation and dialogue about why, hopefully they can glimpse like why then, therefore, it's important to take this first step.
Yes.
As an example. The third thing would be a question, right? So I think that was one of the earlier things that you talked about, responsibility and how do you cultivate ownership? So the question is, how do we cultivate age-appropriate responsibility or ownership for the children?
Yeah. We come back to the concept of honor in heart-based parenting in terms of trying to get children to take responsibility for their own actions. And honor is about being outward focused. So when you're outward focused, you try and think about, in honoring people, you treat them as special. You think about, what else can I do to make this person's life better? So in heart-based parenting, we teach our kids learn honor. And honor is defined by treating people as special and also trying to honor your parents, honor the house that you live in. So not just cultivating this family culture of honor, helps them to take responsibility. So the 8-year-old, for example, might honor mommy by making sure that they clean up after themselves after dinner. Whereas your 14-year-old might be honoring you by looking after their sibling, making sure and going one step above, not just looking after them, but providing something that they enjoy doing. So say maybe the 8-year-olds enjoy playing games. Instead of the 14-year-old just being on their devices while they're looking after the 8-year-old, they think about, what can I do to make them feel special? They enjoy playing games. Let me play games with them and give up my screen time to do so. So in that, we create a family culture that is honoring and that takes responsibility for each other and cares for one another.
I love this example of how a culture of honor looks like in a family setting, from the child honoring the parent and from the child as a sibling honoring his or her younger siblings.
Yeah, that's right.
As you've just explained. Can you share with us maybe one story, Liz, of how you've worked with some of your clients in terms of using parenting coaching as an approach where, maybe it's a culture of honor concept or anything else?
I had a client whose child was 5 at the time. And he was going through this phase of school refusal, didn't want to go to class, even basketball class, and he loved basketball. He would act up all morning before classes, on Saturdays, not wanting to get dressed, then not wanting to get in the car, not wanting to go into the classrooms for class or even the basketball court. So at first they tried to use incentives. When that didn't work, they would threaten or scold the child. Saturdays became a dread because every morning on Saturday, it will be a battlefield between them and their child. So, Saturdays are meant to be restful family days, but instead it turned into this big battlefield on Saturdays. So I coached this mom for 8 weeks using our heart-based parenting course. And during this time, she decided to get curious and sat down with her child to talk about why he didn't want to go to class. And it turned out actually the child wasn't being defiant. He was actually really fearful about going to classes. He was worried about going to class and not actually knowing the answers to questions and being scolded. And he was actually worried of going to basketball class because he was afraid of his coach. So during our coaching sessions, we would talk about some changes she could make. So instead of, scolding the child or trying to use, quote unquote, the whip, she decided to come alongside her child instead and to help him through these episodes. She gave him tools to apply when he was fearful and on his own. And also during non-conflict times, she also taught the boy the importance of giving up his will even when he didn't want to. And so he could learn that he needed to obey and honor his parents and people in authority. So in our 8 weeks together, through a lot of consistent effort by his mom, this boy made a major breakthrough. He slowly resisted going to class less and less. And by the end, he was able to tell his parents, hey, coach isn't that scary. Classes aren't that scary. And he has so much satisfaction in conquering the fears that he had. And his parents too had so much joy from coming alongside him and training his heart. They could have just cut the classes and make things easy for themselves and the child, but they decided to train his heart instead. And now he has tools for success in life, not just with these classes, but in the future, when he's an adult and he faces tasks that are scary or feel beyond him, he knows he has the tools that he needs and that his parents are there to support him through these seasons in life.
Thank you for that story. I hear how through this successful parent coaching experience that you shared with your client, right, there seems to be some lifelong skills that both parent and child have learned for themselves. And that's great, right? Yeah. I was wondering also, along the way in this 8 weeks that you journeyed with this parent and child, were there any moments where it was a bit tough and maybe the parent felt like this wasn't going anywhere? Were there any moments of discouragement, and how did you work with your client towards overcoming it?
Actually, with parenting coaching, a lot of times in this 8 weeks, I feel it's like a bit of a roller coaster. You step on the accelerator at first and everything's, going well. And then after a while, everyone gets a bit tired and the child goes, oh, mommy, I don't want to do this anymore. And then, as the parent, like I say, it's so easy to revert back to what we're comfortable with and go with our natural bent. So that's why coaching is important. You could implement all these skills on your own, but you need someone to give you the support, the encouragement, and the accountability to keep on going. And that's what coaching does. And that's why we coach for the 8 weeks that we do with parenting coaching in this case, so that you can get over that hurdle and go beyond.
Thank you for encouraging all parents out there to consider parent coaching and to give it a try. I'm hearing that parent coaching does wonderful things and it can really help and support the child and the parent. I'm wondering what you would say, if we were to ask the question of how does parent coaching impact families and the relationships between the parent and child, or the relational health within the family?
I believe that we have this one life, and life is not meant to be miserable. We're meant to enjoy life, especially family life. And like we've said, parenting is the most important job we can have. And if you have that pebble in your shoe that we spoke about, and some things are just painful, parenting coaching might be an option to help enable you to remove that pebble in your shoe and build the strong bonds in your family and that warm family environment that you so desire.
Thank you so much, Liz, for sharing with us your tips and experience in journeying with parents and their families through parent coaching. I think I will remember the picture you painted of what it looks like if we were to take that step to remove the pebble in our shoe. That's a gem for sure. Truly an inspiration for us all. For more parenting resources, do visit our website at family.org.sg. And that's all we have for today. We hope you've enjoyed this episode. Do keep tuning in to the Parent Ed podcast to learn and grow in your parenting journey.